बीजापूरगदेक्षकर्मुकुरुजाब्चक्राब्जपाशोत्पल प्रयग्रस्वपिशानरत्नकलशैः प्रोद्यत्खराम्भोरुवः देहो वल्लभया सपद्मकरया आश्लिष्टोज्ज्वलद्भूषया विश्वोत्पत्तिविपत्तिसंस्तुतिकरो विघ्नेश इष्टदः श्रीनाथादिगुरुत्रयं गणपतिं पीठत्रयं भैरवं सिद्धौघं वटुकत्रयं पदयुगं धूतीक्रमं मण्डलम् वीरान्ध्यष्टचतुष्कषष्टिनवकं वीरावळी पञ्चकम् श्रीमन्मालनिमन्त्रराजसहितं वन्दे गुरोर्मण्डलम् माधर्मे मधुकैटभग्निमहिषः प्राणापहारोद्यमे हेला निर्मितधूम्रलोचनवधे हे चण्डमुण्डर्दिने निःशेषे कृतरक्तबीजदनुज नित्ये निशुम्भापहे शुम्भध्वंसनि संहर सुदुरितं दुर्गे नमस्तेऽम्बिके सर्वं श्री चण्डी महालक्ष्मी श्रीपादुकां पूजयामि तर्पयामि नमः सद्गुरुं श्रीपादुकां पूजयामि तर्पयामि नमः. Welcome all of you for this another session on the introduction to Dasamahavidya. I'm sorry, I had to miss 2-3 sessions in the middle, like after the starting of the introduction, and many of you were very much fascinated with the Dasamahavidyas, and I have received all your reflection. Those who are very seriously learning from our Mahavidyalaya wanted to understand, reflect, and take the learnings further. You are writing the reflections, and I'm also responding personally to all the reflections that is coming in. That is a tradition we can learn, and most of you are coming up into the tradition. Why we are writing reflections and why it is important and everything, we'll be giving a very detailed introduction before the semester will begin, actually, because this is a bridge course that we are trying to do. We are trying to engage you within the system of attending the classes and learning, and most of you who have joined, once again, welcome, and the previous students continuing the journey, again, welcome, and let's continue the session. But before I start, it's been 2 days, and I just wanted to recapitulate what is it you have remembered from the previous Dasamahavidya session. Ishak, if you can open the chat box, I would like students to write what is that they have understood from the previous session, actually. You don't have to type sentences, maybe like a brief phrase, perhaps, if not a single word. I would encourage everybody to participate rather than sitting as a passive learner. Universe to localization, fantastic. Don't try to repeat. If somebody is writing something, you can write something else. One energy manifesting to many, brilliant. Evolution. My students are amazing, I guess. Oh my God, I'm feeling like I need to give the best now. Shri Kula and Kali Kula, how Mahavidya is individually also becoming a source of knowledge. Very good. The progress from Kali to Kamalatmika, social evolution. Okay, various moods to various forms. Today, that we are going to look into a bit detail. Knowing yourself. Okay, that's a bit of a big statement. 10 different ways to come back to home. Okay. Unmanifested reality of the universe, how Devi can be single and whole. I think this is the central thing that we spoke. Neglect local deities. Okay. How Devi can be single and whole. Okay. Adi Parāśakti manifests from cosmic concentration from becoming available as Kula Devata and Grama Devata. Okay. Mantra and tantras of each of the Dashamahavidyas. Okay. That's becoming a bit, deeper. Local Grama Devis and manifestations as single and finally as a supreme source. Unmanifest to manifest. Okay. Different ways to look at the same different energies, and Mother protects as Gram Devata, universal to local identity, Mahadevi. Okay, that's it. What about others? Others will write now. Why should I write? It's okay, sir. Correct, na? Energy. Okay. Paramambika, Kula Devata. Okay. Bhakti evolves into Tantra, Mantra. Oh, she's everything. I finished it. Okay. Formless to form, connecting the sadhaka with bhavas. 10 iconographies with 10 different energies. Emotional evolution. That's interesting, actually. Leading to realization. Shri Chakra is the primary source of creation. No, I'm sorry. Maybe, but like, what about the then? Okay, fine. I'll accept that Shri Chakra is the primary source. What about the Kali Chakra? What about Dhumavati Chakra? What about Bhuneshwari Chakra? Correct, na? So, concept of Satakshi. Okay, that is something which we spoke. Brahmajnana Swarupini. Okay, different rasas in different forms. Thank you so much, students. Thank you. I think we have summed up everything. I think you all have you all are remembering, I guess, those who have attended and not attended. I think this is a good introduction that we have done. A brief warm up. Isha, you can close the chat box. Thank you. And so the takeaway, the primary takeaway was universalization to the localization, actually, which is very important. And since there is universalization to localization, if you compare, like with the Vaishnava Dashavatara system and to our Dasamahavidya system in the Śākta traditions, it has percolated until the Grama Devata, until the Devis whom we worship very closely. If you look into the Dashavataras, we don't have a very close connection there actually, except for specific deities like Rama and Krishna, correct? Do you find Dashavatara temples very frequently? Do you see actually? No, I don't think so. But you see Vishnu, Mahavishnu, and then Rama and Krishna. This Mahavishnu has percolated deeply into what is called as the concept of Perumal, actually. Perumal or Venkateshwara Swami or Balaji, yes or no? And different aspects of that. And then very specific iconographies means we actually come across Rama and Krishna, actually. That is the reason if you see in the Dashavatara system, there is still a fascination is there, actually. I mean, Dashavataram. But when it comes to your own Kula Devata or the Devi who's just very next to your house, like everybody's house is next to a Devi temple, yes or no? Is there a Devi temple next to your house? Now I will give you a moment to think about that Devi and think which could be the close related Dasamahavidya she might be associated with. And I'm opening the chat box again, and you can give the name of the Devi, the temple Devi, and which Dasamahavidya she is closely associated. Now you should be asking, how will I know? Because I am assuming that you know the 10 aspects of, basic aspects of Mahavidya, so you will be able to answer. You have to tell me the name of the Devi and then the Dasamahavidya. Then only I'll be able to. Mariamman Durga, correct. This is the way I want you to identify. There is nothing correct or wrong. Parvati, Kali. Parvati is Tripura Sundari or Parvati is Kali. Kempamma Devi, Durga. Okay. Karpagavalli, Kamalatmika. Devi Kamakshi, Ma Tripura Sundari. Okay. Kali Ma, Veera Kali Amman, Bhairavi. Oh my goodness. Why specifically Bhairavi? Good, but that's a very good interpretation. Renuka Devi. Who is that Renuka Devi? Tell me which association. Bhadrakali, Kali. Tripura Sundari, Lakshmi, Kamalatmika. Pochamma, Tara. Bhuneshwari, Rajarajeshwari, Shri Lakshmi. Why Rajarajeshwari is not Tripura Sundari and Shri Lakshmi? You have to justify. Renuka Devi, Chinnamasta. Good. I'm reading randomly because the names are going up and down because it's getting scrawled very soon. So please don't think that I'm ignoring your writing or something like that. Don't know about Jandewala. Jandewalan? I'm not going to tell you the answer. You find out and tell me actually. Okay, you are talking about Jandewalan. What about our, the other famous Devi? I forgot her name actually. I'll be very soon writing in my Shakti Kshetra reflections about her actually. It starts with K actually. Kalkaji, correct. Kalkaji. So Peddamma is Durga. So now, so Vidyarthis, are you able to understand like how you are able to connect? Let us not get into the debate whether, are you identifying the Dasamahavidya correctly or not? That is not the thing. That is not, but you are able to correlate, correct? That is the first step. So you see the concept of what is called as the universalization until the localization has how Devi has come down actually. And because of this very reason, unfortunately, we have forgotten her real, eternal, powerful position that she belonged to actually. All we know is when there is an emergency, I have to go and knock her door actually. Correct? Yes or no? When there is an emergency, I knock her door. Or when there is something that or maybe like some of them are very good. When there is an emergency, I knock the door. And if she fulfills, then I go and repay the gratitude actually. If she doesn't fulfill, go. You are somebody else, I am somebody else actually. Correct? Yes or no? There is either immediate intervention is required or there is a gratitude we show. But we have forgotten what is called as the foundations of why she is supreme, number one, and being supreme, how she has so much a part of our life actually. How much she has become a part of our life, we have completely forgotten. There's a kind of a juxtapose in both the things. She is supreme, we know, but since she is so much available to us, we have taken a kind of an advantage actually, or we have forgotten the what is called as the eternal, the existential realities of what the power is all about actually. This is one of the central understanding which is very much primary for the Dasamahavidya system actually. How deeply she is universal, philosophical, deeply tantric, deeply Vedic way, how difficult it is to approach her or to reach her, but at the same time, she's so easily available for us with a glass of porridge, with some neem leaves, with some haldi, with some kumkum, are able to follow the dichotomy or the juxtaposition which is there in the tradition actually. And why it is there? The Shastram and the Acharyas are answering only one thing for this. Only one answer, which is a very simple answer. And you all know the answer. You know, what is the answer? Because she is Amma. That's it. There is nothing else to build on this actually. Because she is Amma. And Amma is always approachable actually. Whether the children, have the power to realize the potential of the mother or not, Amma is not bothered. A true mother is never bothered about it. A true mother wanted to be there for her children actually. And that's the reason we see such a huge evolution from the universalization to the localization understanding of these Dasamahavidya. Let me expand on that a little more, because unless and until the foundations are not stronger, there's no point in getting into the Dasamahavidyas individually. Dasamahavidyas, universalization versus the localization, group versus the single. That also we have an understanding, correct? They are grouped together. Within the group, they have a dynamics, and when they are singles, I mean, with their own features, with their own characteristic features, with their own personality, they are different actually. And as a group, they can all work together as 10 Vidyas together, or broadly, they are classified into what is called as the Kali Kula and the Shri Kula, which is primary base of difference between the Ugra versus the Shanta debate actually, which is actually, or unfortunately, it is put on women since time immemorial actually. Yes or no? Men being anger, nobody is bothered actually. But women getting anger, it becomes a concept actually. Correct? There are so many men are here. I hope they will accept with me actually, And the Ugra versus the Shanta. it is like that. We will get into that a little later. But now focusing on the Dasamahavidya system, the Ugra versus the Shanta debate, where we have the individual versus the group formation actually. The next, there are also traditions where they talk, this tradition is basically from the folklore traditions that is coming from both in the north and the south, where they are identified as sisters actually. They are all sisters actually. Even in the Vaishnava tradition, they have this concept like, the big brother and the small brother actually. For example, Rama is considered to be the big brother for Krishna actually, because he is born before actually. Though it is coming from the same avatara, that is Mahavishnu, but this brother, the elder brother and the younger brother concept actually, the same kind of a concept is adopted within the Dasamahavidya traditions, where Kali is considered to be the eldest and Kamalatmika is considered to be the youngest actually. And this is purely a folklorist tradition actually. If you ask me for references from Tantra, scriptures and all, like we cannot hardly find anything like that. But this is a very prevalent idea. They say that ye behan hai, they choti behan hai, badi behan hai, that kind of a concept is very much there within Devi's arrangements. I'm sure you would have come across that kind of an idea, which this idea can be even taken to the next level in the South India or even in the North India. In the South India, it's much more prevalent, where we have the concept of the Sapta Matrikas actually. Brahmi, Maheshwari, Vaishnavi, Varahi, Kaumari, all these seven of them, they are considered to be Sapta Matrikas and they are considered to be sisters actually. They have an interrelationship among themselves actually. Okay. Let me make a note. This is an assignment for all of you. I mean, you can work out for yourself, think about it. What is the difference between Sapta Matrikas and Sapta Kanyas? Sapta Kanya and Sapta Matrika. Let me give you the hint. The hint itself is in the name. Matrikas or Amma or Kanyas are the virgins actually. So what is the difference? Because we actually intertwine both of them together, but both are not the same, it seems, according to the traditions and according to the scriptures. How they are becoming different and what is the historical context, if you can find anything about that actually. So the concept of, the relationship, the patterns of relationship establishing, and this is coming within the idea of putting them in a group actually. They are all belonging to what is called as a particular tattva or a particular manifestation. Therefore, there is an interrelationship among them. Therefore, they are identified as sisters for one among each other. There is this very famous understanding in the North India, even in the South, but predominantly in the North, I guess. Dhumavati is considered to be the elder sister of Kamalatmika, actually. Well, there is like, because there is this concept of Jeshta Lakshmi, right? Al-Lakshmi. Basically, Dhumavati is considered to be Al-Lakshmi, but let me tell you, this is a very, very wrong notion. She is not Al-Lakshmi and all. What Lakshmi cannot give, Dhumavati can give actually, let me tell you. But you should be in a position to approach her. That is the only difference. The moment you approach her, everything is given actually. But approaching is the difficult part there actually. That concept of who is Lakshmi's sister, that is a very different idea actually. She is not the Dhumavati. Though the traditions say that, there is a deep, interrelationship that we have made, that Dhumavati is considered to be inauspicious, but that is not at all the truth as far as the Śākta texts are talking about. Śākta texts are nowhere telling that Dhumavati is a very inauspicious Devi just because of the iconography represents something else actually. That Jeshta Lakshmi or Alakshmi, which is mentioned in relation with Kamalatmika and Mahalakshmi, is a very different concept, which we will be looking at when we will be talking in detail about Dhumavati actually. The next one, in continuing with the same ideas, these Dasamahavidya systems is also considered to be what is called as the stages in a human life, or representing particularly a woman's life actually. Starting from a small born baby until becoming a very matured individual, there's a kind of an interrelationship that is created. For example, Bala, the traveling from Bala to Dhumavati. Now you might ask me, if Bala to Dhumavati means, number one, Bala Tripura Sundari is not part of the Dasamahavidya system, number one. Actually, number two, even if we take Bala to be the aspect of what is called as Tripura Sundari, and then we take Dhumavati to be the to be the older aspect of the life, still it is not within the what is called as the setup of what is called as the hierarchy in which they are placed, like starting from Kali to Kamalatmika. In these classification, what the text and what the authorities, the teachers have said is that it is not necessary that they have to be put in that particular classification only. It is not like a hierarchy, like the Dashavatara system, like one after the other Mahavishnu came in that particular order actually. As far as the Dasamahavidya system is concerned, Devi is concerned, there is no evolution in that particular dimension actually. When they evolved, it is not chronological based kind of a differentiation. They can be put in a chronology, but they are equally so much away from a chronology. We cannot say that Kali came first and from there Tara came actually. Tara can be identified as an independent entity in itself, independent Devi herself, with whatever, whatever the prowess or whatever the Avirbhava Shakti that she has actually. Number one. Number two, she can be equally spoken from Kali, the other aspect becoming, what is called as Tara actually. We can even do that. But the traditions very clearly says that there is no chronological identity between chronological differentiations or identities between these 10 Mahāvidyās. Next one. Next, this is all into one single idea of, understanding the Dasamahavidyās. Now, the next one, which is much more related to us, much more related to the humans. These Dasamahavidyās are further classified or understood with the classifications based on these parameters. The three gunas, the sattva, the rajas, and tamas. The sattva is nothing but the mode of goodness. Rajas is nothing but the mode of passion. And tamas is nothing but the mode of goodness, passion, and destruction. So the three aspects of differentiation actually. Now, let me give you a small assignment. Mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. Sorry, not destruction, ignorance. Tell me three Devis from Dasamahavidya where you will classify into this particular dimension. Use the chat box to write to me actually. Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Three Devis. There is nothing like right or wrong answer. Please don't think about it. Just be active student. Sattva, Lakshmi, Parvati. Vijay, be within the Dasamahavidya system. Sattva, Bhuneshwari. Matangi, Rajas. Okay. Kali, Rajas. Okay. Tamas, Kali, question mark. Okay. Are you asking me or are you telling me? Dhumavati, Kali, and Tara, Tamas. Okay. Good. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now the point is 99% of whatever answers I saw, all are correct. Absolutely correct, the way you have differentiated. But at the same time, I can debate, I can argue from the Shastric point of view saying that you are wrong actually. I can argue to the extent that Kali is purely a Sattvic deity actually. What is this, sir? If I go in that direction, you are coming in this direction. If I'm going in that direction, you're coming in. Then which direction should I go? They are in all the directions actually. Then why this classification is done? Because we are inherited with one predominant guna Therefore, we want to identify them in that particular pattern. Most of you have said that Bhuvaneshwari and Tripura Sundari Sattva, they can be as tamasic as possible actually. Then why this classification for us? Because we are bounded by moods. How we are bounded by moods? We are bounded by our karma. When we are bounded by our karma, we are bounded by actions. And when we have to do certain actions, we are in exhibition of these gunas, and we use these gunas, or these gunas are very inherent in ourselves. And therefore, at that moment of time, these energies come, that particular energy comes in, and those energies are identified in these patterns of these Dasamahavidyas. And then what we have done, because there is a kind of a correlation that we want to make, an interpersonalized correlation, which we want to make with these Mahavidyas, we have identified them within these patterns actually, which was very convenient to us, definitely, and which has been accepted by the Shastra, and it has also been accepted by the system of the Acharyas that they have evolved it actually. But at the same time, what I'm trying to say is that though they are part of classifications predominantly, which is all correct, but they are beyond these classifications also, because they are beyond everything. That is also you should understand. They cannot be simply classified. And why they cannot be simply classified, because if you are going to keep them in that classification, then you are also supposed to remain in that classification actually. Unless and until we are not going to raise about these three gunas, whatever, even you are in Sattva Guna means nobody, you can only reach Indralokam, let me tell you. And once your time is over, Indra will send you back to this lokam only. You want to be in Sattva. No, as far as this world is concerned, I am pretty sure if you are going to be na romba nallavan, like I am, मैं बहुत अच्छा हूँ करके मैं खुद बोल सकता हूँ अपने बारे में. पता नहीं कितने लोग मेरे बारे में बोलेंगे कि मैं बहुत अच्छा हूँ. With that अच्छा हूँ title is also not going to be helpful here actually, as far as this world is concerned. Even if it is helpful in a particular manner, it might reach us to one of the highest loka only. It is not going to reach us to the highest planet where Devi is there actually. Because to reach there, you have to be completely no guna less actually, guna hyphen less actually, or no guna. Are you able to follow what I'm trying to say? So you have to raise, you might be with all these gunas, but you raise above these gunas actually. And that is what is predominantly exhibited by the Mahavidyas. They have a predominant guna, no doubt about it. Kali's aspect of worship is definitely tamasic in nature or rajasic in nature. We cannot deny it. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that Kali cannot be worshipped, or some aspect of Kali cannot be worshipped in this Sattva Tattva also. Are you able to follow what I'm trying to say? Now the next one. Again, one assignment to all of you. There are assignment means now we are going to do a kind of an activity. The three gunas, Sattvam, Rajas, and Tamas. Sattvam, Rajas, Tamas, Chaiva, Rakshen, Narayani, Sada. What Shiva Prasad? Rajeshwari Ma. Jayalakshmi Ma. Where it is coming? Devi Mahatmyam, na? In Devi Kavacham. Correct. I can see that all of you are doing your Parayanam actually. Three gunas working, and they have to be exhibited. Means how they will be exhibited? They will be exhibited through what is called as moods actually. And how many moods are there? Primarily, there are 9 moods are there as identified in the Shastras. What are the 9 moods actually? Shringara, Hasya, Raudra, Virya, Bhayanaka, Bibhatsa. Bibhatsa is nothing but disgust. Adbhuta, Shanta. Did I say all the names? Shringara, Hasya, Karuna, Raudra, Veera, Bhayanaka, Bibhatsa, Adbhuta, and Shanta. Should I say the English names? Shringara, love or beauty. Hasya is mild laughter, or mrit, what we call in English. Karuna is sorrow or compassion. Rudra is courage or heroism. Rudra is anger or fury. Rudra is anger or fury. And Veera is courage and heroism. Bhayanaka is about terror and fear. And Bhibhatsa is disgust or aversion. And Adbhuta is wonder or amazement. And Shanta is peace, or more than peace, it is all about tranquility. The tranquility. So now tell me, identify one Devi who is in any one of these rasa which you correlate or actually. Use the chat box. Shringara, Tripura Sundari, Kali Bhayanakama. No, you have, okay, fine, Kali Bhayanakam, okay. Tranquility, Ma Tripura Sundari, okay. Tripura Sundari, Karuna. All of you are talking about only Tripura Sundari. Rajamatangi, tranquility. What about the other Dashama? Either you people are only knowing Kali or Tripura Sundari. There are also other Vidyas. Come on. Kali is Karuna. Who is that? I mean, I wanted you to speak, perhaps, actually. Dhumavati Karuna. See, when you're talking about Karuna, the thing is that, thank you so much. Thank you, all of you. When you talk about Karuna, most of you are trying to give a kind of a very intelligent answer, you're taking some terrific Mahavidyas and saying very, very goody things about them. Let me tell you, they don't appreciate all these goody things actually. And number two, when it comes to Dasamahavidya, you cannot simply say that, Amma, please save me. She will not be Amma at that point of time. When Amma is actually in anger, no matter Amma you are going to plead, she is not going to listen to you. You know very well, actually. So that Amma who is in anger, you should know how to tackle that Amma, or you should know how to approach that Amma. Yes or no? At that moment, you cannot say that Amma, I love you so much and all. So what I'm trying to say that bhakti is the foundation, but you cannot apply that bhakti everywhere actually, which is very important. You have to allow me to be the way I am actually. I am meant with a certain way means, and if you want to experience into that dimension of what I am, then you should allow me to be in that particular mood, right? Yes or no? Correct, na? Are you able to follow what I'm trying to say? I am okay with the idea that some of you are saying Chinnamasta, Bhairavi and all Karuna. But it is not simply with the idea of bhakti or that motherly affection that you are talking about, she being Karuna. That is a very superficial way of understanding as far as the tantric ideas are concerned. How she is Karuna, you should be able to look from the lens of the scriptures, from the lens of the teachers, and with your own experience. That is the way it should come in actually, if she is really Karuna. Are you able to follow what I'm trying to say? So, interpersonal experiences based on the Shastric evidences and the practices of the teacher or the teachers of the traditions is what is identified within the classification of these moods actually. If I don't have a teacher, if I don't belong to the tradition, then what it is? Maybe, okay, if you are that gifted, one among in the crore where she can directly interact with you and do things, it is fine. Otherwise, one among in the crores actually. Otherwise, it is simply philosophical or other kinds of speculations that you are going on doing actually. It's not in the right dimension actually. You need a teacher, and the teacher should have practiced. The teacher should be coming in a particular tradition, and the teacher is talking through the lens of the scriptures. The teacher is talking through the lens of the practice. The teacher is talking from the lens of the practices, bringing the gap between the learning and the teaching. From there, you are experiencing the dimension. You are experiencing not with your own dimension. You are experiencing from the lens that the teacher is providing. And then you come up, then irrespective of whatever the aspects we spoke, your gunas, your karmas, or your own moods, you will be pushed into a very altered dimension, and that dimension is nothing but what we speak of consciousness. Actually, if we are really looking for that altered consciousness, then we have to go through this process. Actually, that is what the tradition is all about. Otherwise, you can go on your own, there is no doubt, but who is going to validate your experiences? Who is going to understand what you're doing is correct? Most of the students keep writing me, I am getting this dream, I am experiencing that thing. If you're experiencing, you should stay there, right? Actually, why you want somebody to validate your experiences? Actually, which means that there is something wrong fundamentally with your experiences. That's the reason you want that validation. Actually, otherwise, you should live with that experience. You should live with those dreams. You should be able to emanate those experience. Emanate means what? You should be able to put it out in a way that it is working it is working out beyond those experiences or those dreams. Actually, otherwise, it is simply because of some unconscious memories that is associated with the learning, which might be there from the previous janmas or previous learning. Somewhere you read in the internet and then you dreamt and then it became a kind of an experience. And then you're talking it is as some experience that you have got. That is all not in the right way that we can evolve. And that is one of the biggest dangers within the tantric traditions, actually. Because in the Vedic traditions, we are exactly going by the text. Here, we are going with the text, but beyond the text, we are identifying with patterns, actually. And that patterns have to go. That's the reason teachers are very important. That's in both either in the Vedic or the Tantric. In the Vedic, it is a textual tradition. Still, the teachers are very important. Here, it is beyond the text. The experiences are beyond the text. Then it means what? You need a teacher to show it, actually. You need a teacher to protect you, to guide you, to nurture you, to put you to walk in that path, actually. So what I'm trying to conclude is, beyond your individuality, beyond your own personality, what you should be in a position to experience these Mahavidyas. Though eventually you start with them, but you have to gradually raise over them. Otherwise, your own individual personalized way of looking at her will never deliver you, actually. Deliver you from where you are, actually. Otherwise, you remain in that one particular pattern. You will be not able to grow, actually. Next, the dynamic versus the static. The Daśa Mahāvidyā classification with the dynamic versus the static. This dynamic versus static is nothing but it is the movement versus being in a particular place, actually. And when we talk movement means what? The movement which is all encompassing to take the world into another dimension. When I'm talking about the world, I'm not talking about the big entity that is outside you. I'm talking about the sadhaka in himself, actually. For example, when I'm talking about static, Kali, Tara, Bhaglamukhi, Bhairavi, even Sundari and Chinnamasta, they are all classified largely by the text and traditions as static, actually. Oh, sorry, as dynamic, actually. But whereas Bhuvaneshwari, Kamala, Dhumavati are all identified as static, actually. Being in one place and doing things, or going around different places and to do different things, actually. This is the difference. That's the reason Tripura Sundari, you see the primary manifestation as Parvati, and Parvati is taking n number of Swarupams, actually. This is one classic example. Tripura Sundari's form is Shiva Patni. Shiva Patni's form is who? Primarily Parvati. And Parvati has n number of forms in the Shiva Leela. So going around different places, one single identity, but going into different spaces based on the Desha Kala Parishchanam, based on the space, based on the needs, based on the necessities. Actually, the avataram keeps expanding and evolving actually. So this is the larger way of understanding the classification actually. The entire classification that is coming in the tantric stream of school actually. Whatever I have spoken to you, and this is the way there is a kind of a deep fascination, because the gunas, the moods, the navarasas, they are all an intrinsic part of our human self, correct? And since we experience them on a day-to-day basis in different ways, that's the reason we have a deep interest in these Mahavidyas actually. Inherently, we have this interest. Whether there is a absolute knowledge, whether there is a guided knowledge, or whether there is no knowledge, there is a kind of a deep inclination towards them actually. Again, going with the example, Rama and Krishna are taken as life examples that what is the tradition they say actually, or what is it we learn? We look into the life of Rama, look into the life of Krishna, and learn and adopt it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes or no? But here, it is not that I have to look into Kali or Tara or Tripura Sundari or Chinnamasta or all these Mahavidyas to look into them to learn, because they are very much within me actually. The only thing is that I don't know, or rather I have not realized them. There's nothing to look at them to learn. They are already there. The only thing is that you need to realize. This is the primary reason where there is no hierarchy or chronological classifications actually. They are there when the time is needed, or when the moment is needed, or when the experiences are gathered. Then what is this sadhana all about, or what is the guidance that is needed? It is to channelize them actually. It is all about getting it channelized. Now it is everywhere. Now the sadhana will bring it what? It will bring it everything together, and it will put you in a path actually. And this is the foundation of understanding what is Dasamahavidya, students. If you wanted to dwell in deeper, this understanding is very important. And moving forward, tomorrow will be the final day for the foundations, and I'll be talking on two important things. One, which you are all deeply fascinated and you are all desperately interested, I guess, the magical powers of these Mahavidyas. Okay? Tomorrow I'll be speaking about that, the magical powers of these Mahavidyas. Do they really have some magical powers? What we call in simple language Siddhi. What is that Siddhi that the texts are talking about? Which I'll be briefly looking into them as much as possible, like briefly, and also like elaborate with one of each of the Mahavidyas, or taking some of the examples that I'll talk about them as siddhis. And this next aspect will be to talk about the consciousness, the evolution of consciousness that is there. So the siddhis and the consciousness, those are very, very contrasting in both the concept, but tomorrow I'm going to take it up as a conclusion of these Mahavidya, introduction to the Mahavidya. And after that, we will be looking into Dasamahavidyas, each of them separately. I'll be talking in detail about from Kali to Kamalatmika. The classes will evolve. I'm sure you are going to learn, you're going to, what I said is to realize, who is already within you, you're going to realize, and you're going to relive a better relationship with these Dasamahavidyas. Thank you so much. Let me end the session with Mangalam. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trayambhake Gauri Narayani Namostute Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Kshama Kshiva Dhatri Swaha Swada Namostute. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarvam Shri Chandi Mahalakshmi Arpanamastu. Tathastu. Those who are interested for the Gurukula retreat that we have announced, you can stay back. And those who are into the debate competition, those who have been selected for the debate, please stay back. The rest of you can leave. Thank you so much. Namaskaram.
Namaskar, Guruji.
Namaskaram, Guruji.
Namaskaram, Guruji.
Namaskar.
Namaste.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji.
ధన్యవాదాలు.